Good morning. It's Robert and Julia Miller with the J. Patel Group and Rethink Real Estate with another exciting episode of Real Estate Updates. Hey, how are you today?
Good.
Okay.
How are you?
I'm good. Hanging in there.
Good.
Got a lot done this morning.
Yeah.
Got the seal fixed on my garage door. I thought it was going to be a massive project
I thought so
a
too.
big headache. And thank you for your assistance.
It was pretty easy, actually. Just
we knocked that
sliding
out.
that seal in. Yeah.
So, very
High five.
productive day. Hey, high five.
Not bad.
Okay, you got a joke for us today?
Somewhat. I have an update on my fitness for the week.
Okay, let's hear it.
So I spent 45 minutes on the treadmill yesterday.
It's pretty impressive.
Yeah. Well, tomorrow I'll turn it on.
Yeah. You'll burn more calories that way.
Yeah, it helps.
Yeah, okay.
What about you? You got something funny for us?
Yeah, I have a funny one, and it's actually, has actually happened to us,
Oh,
or
dear.
happened to me. Happened to us.
Maybe
you were
you should
involved
have told
too.
me
So, yeah.
about this before you started talking about it on camera.
Oh, crap is the last thing you want to hear when your wife is trimming your eyebrows. True story.
True story. It's like,
Oops.
oops.
Yeah, no, only it was
Oh crap.
Yeah, and I'm like, what?
What'd you say?
What does that mean?
I couldn't stop laughing.
Okay.
All right.
There's our funnies.
I got us started.
All right, so we're always looking at, this is ever evolving with this pandemic situation, but a lot of good is coming out of it, and there's some interesting articles that we picked up this week, and some specifics that people are pointing out regarding how this has all changed them, and it's going to be for the permanent. Everybody, I'm sure, has heard how expensive real estate is in other parts of the country, California, Chicago, New York, Jersey, and taxes are extremely high, and people would love to own a home, but they just can't afford to do it there.
Right.
So out of this pandemic, this is kind of an interesting story out of the National Association of Realtors. Could the rise of remote work spark more home sales? Okay, how would that happen? Okay. The growing trend of working remotely could untether Americans from office spaces in pricey areas and prompt them to buy homes elsewhere. If you don't have to go into downtown New York, you can live in the suburbs.
Live in the suburbs.
Yeah. Home sales in the suburbs, as well as smaller, less expensive cities, could see a boost that continues beyond pre-pandemic levels, and that's from the Wall Street Journal.
I could see that happening here in Phoenix too.
Right.
You want to live in the city, so you live in the suburbs.
Yeah. We have a very vast and spread out county that we live in, so I see a lot of benefits too.
Mm-hmm.
Some tech companies, including Facebook, Twitter, and Square, have already announced that they will allow select employees to work remotely full-time. They expect half of their workforce to work remotely within 5 to 10 years. Holy mackerel.
Wow. Okay.
Facebook CEO Mark Zuckerberg says that 75% of his employees have already expressed an interest in moving to a different city if they could work remotely.
So
Come to Arizona and work in
they're based
here.
What, in Seattle? I
Seattle,
think?
yeah.
So maybe you say, well, Seattle's not for me. I want to live in Oregon because my family lives in Oregon.
Or Arizona, because we're really cool here.
Yes, Arizona. We're not cool right now. Well, we are right now, but not.
I wasn't talking about the weather. Okay.
Cool is very relative when it comes to summer in Arizona.
I know, it's a hot topic right now.
Literally.
The increased opportunity to work remotely could make it easier for workers who had been priced out of large coastal cities to move elsewhere to buy a home. Seattle's a perfect example of that.
Well, and let's think about it this way, too, is you don't take a job in one of those cities because you think, well, I don't want to live there. I can't afford to live there, even if I had the higher price job,
Yeah, it's a win-win. The employer may get a higher quality, more skilled person for the position that they wouldn't have otherwise.
It certainly opens the field of options.
Yeah, absolutely. Younger generations have been purchasing homes at lower rates than previous generations. Less than 37% of people under the age of 35 owned homes last year. So
That's big.
this would be another opportunity to see that percentage of home ownership in young adults.
Yeah, I
move
remember
up.
the reports coming out saying millennials aren't buying, and none of them want to own. Well, that statistic shows that's not fully correct, 37%. So,
Right.
pretty good percentage.
Yeah, and I think as they get older, they're going to want to own homes more. And they're very well qualified. Some of these young adults have maybe financially ready to launch into home ownership in a more affordable market. Housing experts say, for example, the average age of a Facebook employee is 29 years old. Get this, and their median pay as of 2018 was more than $240,000.
What?
You know how nice a home you can get? You can live in a McMansion in Arizona
yeah.
with that kind of income.
Not so much in Seattle and not so much in
Yeah,
California.
you get an apartment in San Francisco making that kind of money, and you're
in California too.
barely making it pay. So
yeah.
Sorry, I don't mean to bad mouth San Francisco, but they're not here to defend themselves, so I'm going to keep doing it.
Or California. Well, love California. But.
So that's one of the big positives that's come out of the pandemic. What other positives have you seen come out of the pandemic?
Well, I mean, we've talked about the remote notarization, at closing. So that makes it easier for you to sign the closing documents to purchase your new home without having to go to the office and worrying about exposure to somebody being sick there in the office. Virtual open houses are really big right now.
Done a lot of those
virtual
lately.
Showings too. I've done 2 or 3 this week. Virtual showings, either get somebody on a video call, or someone's like, I won't have time to take the call at that time. Can you just throw it up on YouTube for me? Sure. I
think
can throw that up on YouTube.
That may step up the game of the quality of the listing. I think pretty soon the expectation is going to be that there is a narrated walkthrough video, not just the picture virtual
right. You mean the listing
video
itself?
with music in the background, but the ones that you're doing where you're actually walking through the home and narrating and pointing out all the features and everything of the home.
So
I think
that will become more of a standard of a listing.
So. I think if you're doing a quality job, it goes along with your...
That would be great.
We'll see.
So title companies being very creative and accommodating at closing to get you signed and to come to you, that sort of thing.
Title companies, banks, they've been awesome in working around the physical distancing issues. It's been great.
Well, and to go even further, I was just talking to an agent this morning who had some delays on the lender side. They were having problems getting that last minute employment verification for the lender. And they were blaming COVID and working from home, and they weren't able to do the verification on Friday to have the closing Friday. So they had to delay closing by a day. So that's the sort of thing that we can see improve. It needs to continue to improve.
Right.
Are those things. We had a delay. Well, we were going to have a delay because of a mortgage payoff not being at title. Remember?
Yeah, I remember that.
But title company said, it's okay. We just can't issue the funds to the seller, the proceeds to the seller, until we get the payoff. So we can still close.
Right. That was just another example of a title company being very flexible,
being accommodating,
and doing what they had to get the close of escrow on the set date.
Yeah. In other areas, sanitation of public areas. Places feel more clean. The grocery store feels more clean. The restaurants feel more clean. All those places. Plus, you've got the curbside pickup of groceries. You can't go in a grocery store right now without seeing an Instacart shopper doing someone else's grocery shopping.
Yeah, and the delivery even
which is great.
too. It's really affordable.
Yeah, the delivery fees are
saves you a ton of time.
Yep. I even had my prescription delivered last week. And that was free. CVS made that free for us. So all those things are... and video doctor appointments was the other note.
Oh, yes.
Love that.
Remote physician appointments. Yeah, that's another.
Yeah, if it's a checkup, you just want to check in with the doctor, then great. Just make a video call. If it's something you actually need the doctor to see you for, then absolutely go in.
So a lot of positive coming out of what is a very dark situation.
Got some news for us, though?
Yep. Some other statistical observations made this week. Manufacturing activity rebounded from an 11-year low in May. As to be expected, the strongest sign yet that the worst of the economic downturn is behind us as business reopens. So we're starting to see upward trend of the curve.
On the economy,
Very positive for real estate. Construction spending rose year over year in April despite a dip due to the recent lockdowns. Residential spending was up 6.2%. That's higher than record-setting 2019. So
I know I shopped 6.2% more.
Yeah, I noticed. I was just checking the credit card bill. Initial jobless claims dropped below the 2 million mark, and I'm going to talk a little bit more about the unemployment situation here in a little bit.
Okay.
According to a May survey, 52% of home builders are using incentives to bolster sales. Incentives include paying closing costs and fees. That can be huge. Offering free or reduced cost upgrades and discount pricing. So now is a great time to build a home, especially with these historic low interest rates and all.
We were in a new sales office this week, and they were giving great incentives priced right off the home, and then if you use their lender, you get more money towards that closing, and that was on a home right around $300,000. So it wasn't you weren't spending a huge amount of money.
It was a total of $15,000.
$15,000.
So
that's great.
It was good. Recent survey of 1,700 home buyers suggests that they are acclimating to the tight inventory. 41% say they are willing to go over budget for an average of $25,000 for a home they want. So to you buyers, you are in a tough inventory market, so be flexible, be open, be willing to get in the battle and go for the home that you really want. Be open-minded about it. We're using escalation clauses more than we ever have.
So how does that work? How does an escalation clause work?
Well, basically, we're saying that we will beat any offer that comes in up to a certain amount, and we set a nominal amount, usually $1,000, that will go up each time that a higher offer comes in, and then we'll finally peak it at a recommended maximum amount that you would pay for the home. So.
And you put all that in the offer so that the seller knows up front the highest price that you're willing to pay, but your starting bid, basically. And if the seller says, oh yeah, well I have other offers, well the escalation clause also says we need to see those other offers. They need to evidence them.
Yeah, they can't just say, the guy called me up and said he'll pay me $5,000 more. No,
it has to be in writing.
It has to be in writing. So.
And a willing and able buyer, not just willing.
Yeah, qualified, willing and able. But anyway, semantics.
Nitty gritty.
All right, on the unemployment front, we're hearing from the media some terrible stats, but let's kind of peel the onion back a little bit on that. This
How bad
week,
is it?
I think on Friday, and I actually have not seen these stats yet. This was a day before. I think this was on Thursday. So tomorrow morning, the Bureau of Labor Statistics will release the latest economic situation summary, which will include the most current unemployment rate. It will be a horrific number. Yeah. Many analysts believe unemployment should be greater than 20%, and I'm sure it actually came in probably in that range.
Yeah.
These numbers represent families across the nation that are not sure when or if they will return to work. There are, however, some small rays of light shining through on this issue. I think a little more than small, but here's three of them. The actual number of unemployed is less than many are reporting. It's not sensational to say unemployment is getting back to normal. You want to talk about the 40 million that are currently unemployed.
Let's peel back the onion.
Yeah, let's peel back the onion and look at that a little bit. It's true that over the last 10 weeks, over 40.7 million have applied for unemployment. It is also true, however, that many of those people have already returned to work and gotten a new job.
Good.
The actual number and this is the one you're not hearing in the media, the actual number of people currently unemployed is 21.1.
Which is still high.
That's a horrific number, but it's
But
certainly better than 40.7.
It's half, yeah.
Two of those still unemployed, most are temporarily laid off. 90% of those on unemployment report, 90% of those unemployed believe their status is temporary. This means 3 out of 4 people should be returning to work as the economy continues to recover. I left a part out here. Recent survey by the Federal Reserve Bank showed that employers believe, on the employer side, employers believe over 75% of job losses are temporary layoffs and furloughs. So that means
Good.
3 out of 4 people should be returning to work.
Right.
So
Okay.
that's good news, and
It is.
we're back on the right track to getting things back to normal.
Getting there.
Thirdly, those on unemployment are receiving assistance, and the 68% of those who are eligible for unemployment insurance receive benefits that exceeded lost earnings, with 20% receiving benefits at least twice as large as their lost earnings.
I don't understand why
Well,
would that be?
There was the check, the stimulus check that we
Oh.
received, and they did up the insurance payout by $600, I believe. So
Okay.
in many cases, that was more than what they were making before. So
Is that just
you
to
know.
help kind of stimulate the economy
Yeah,
and
to-
get things rolling?
yeah, to keep everybody, paying their bills and everything, and helping everybody get through it. So, that's great.
Yeah.
Okay, on the mortgage front, again, buyers and sellers, in some cases, are taking advantage of these historically low rates. Mortgage applications jumped 18% amid record low rates. Mortgage rates fell again to an all-time low last week, and home buyers are rushing out to take advantage. We're also hearing a lot of people getting refied too.
Yep.
So the record low last week, 3.37 on a 30-year fixed mortgage. So
Wow,
again, historically
that's
low.
great. 3.37.
Yeah, and we expect that
Awesome.
they may even get a little bit lower. So that is
That
all
is
I've got.
awesome. Well, thank
We
you
got
for those good news pieces.
yeah, good news.
tidbits.
We're getting back to normal. In Arizona,
Whatever
here,
that
welcome relief from the heat. Oh my gosh,
Oh,
it's
yes.
like in the 80s
Today
today.
it's beautiful.
It felt almost chilly.
Looking
And
forward to sitting outside with family.
yeah, 111 this week, and now finally a little bit of relief.
I saw
So-
117 on one day.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
it was,
So
it was hot.
okay.
So have a good week.
All right.
Call us if you're ready to make an offer.
Yeah, any help that we can provide, feel free to reach out to us, Robert and Julia Miller with the J. Patel Group and Rethink Real Estate, and we will see you again next week. Take care.